PSP.com LLC. I'm also a member of the National Alumni Association of the Black Panther Party.
So talk about how you got involved and kind of your background with the organization.
I founded the organization. I created the organization. The organization came out of my heart, mind, and soul.
And just talk about some of the issues, behind creating the organization.
Well, first I was actually employed by the city government of Oakland, California, Department of Human Resources. I ran the Youth Jobs Program, and I was also a community liaison for the North Oakland Neighborhood Service Center. In those days and in those times, that was a warm poverty program. But in that period, there was a lot of protest movement going on in and around about Berkeley and Oakland, California. From my house, I witnessed policemen viciously brutalizing, I'm about 200 policemen viciously brutalizing peaceful protests, anti-war protest movement, brutalizing this peaceful protest. As I decided to create the Black Panther Party, one of the positions we took that we would defend ourselves, not only from racists who may attack us and who did attack us and who would and had murdered many black folks, but we would defend ourselves from policemen. And then, of course, what we decided to do is that we was going to have a political party, that somehow or another I was going to organize people in the community, unify all their votes, and we're going to vote out the racists in the city government and vote in people who would get rid of all the racist laws of the city charters or whatever. That's what the objective was. So the first issue we dealt with was legally patrolling and observing police.
Have you noticed any trends here in Texas that
I don't know the details of what's going on in Texas, except for the fact that this particular group here, the Peaceful Streets Project here, brought me here to speak about their Cop Watch program because there's some claims of police brutality.
Based on what? Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, based on what you've seen, do you think there's any progress that's been made either here or across the country as far as police brutality goes?
The only thing that has really happened in all those 40-odd years, beginning with Rodney King, is those police were put on trial. Twice in Rodney King. Quite a few other police got put on trial. Whether win or lose, that's what happens. In my day, in the early days, they didn't put them on trial. They never even got to trial. So that's the closest thing. Police brutality is still rampant in the United States of America. Sometimes it's slickly covered up, etc. Various laws have changed. Everything from the individual stand your ground laws in many states, as that related to Trayvon Martin getting killed and murdered, And I'm just saying that it's there, it's a problem, it's a police state in more ways than one, In the 1960s, it was really viciously overt, literally. People try to deny it, but it was right. So we patrolled the police with law books, tape recorders, and guns, legal guns. And you have to understand that. We were quite legal. That first 6 months that we patrolled and observed police, we were as legal as you could get. And then I went to the state legislature to read a statement against the Mulford Act in the state of California legislature. They were trying to make a law against us carrying guns, observing the police. There had been no shootouts. We cited the law. The cop says you couldn't arrest us. We stood up and says, no, California State Supreme Court ruling states that every citizen has the right to stand and observe a police officer carrying out their duties as long as they stand a reasonable distance away. The reasonable distance in that particular court ruling was 8 to 10 feet. We're standing approximately 20 feet from you, and we'll observe you whether you like it or not. Now, that's a civil methodology of reciting the law to the police when we stand a reasonable distance away under the law and observe the police back then in 1966 and 67. All right? Now, they said we were terrorists, etc. Do terrorists sit and cite the law to, you see what I'm getting at? No, we were not terrorists, So that was the methodology we used. Then they made a law that no one could carry a loaded weapon inside city limits. Not outside city limits for hunter's rights, but inside city limits. So you cannot have a live round in the chamber of a rifle or a shotgun or a pistol if you were inside the city limits. The chamber, not the magazine. And that was the method. So naturally, we would not patrol the police with unloaded guns. It'd be absurd.
So do you think there's, in this day and age, what still needs to be done to hold these
The same
police
thing
officers?
I attempted to do, the same thing I attempted to do a year and a half or so later, that we organized in Oakland, Berkeley, Richmond to put on the ballot as a measure to evolve frameworks of community control of police. That was what I organized. We did get it on the ballot in Berkeley, California. We lost by 1 percentage point. But me, all my white left radical friends, all my black friends, all my Chicano, Native American, and other Hispanic friends who worked with us, who worked in coalition with us at the time, we got that on the ballot. Community control of police. And with that on the ballot, we would not allow the city council or the mayor to appoint a chief. We would have 3 commissioners duly elected by the people in the community. Then we would also have 3, in Berkeley at least, community police review boards with the power, community police review board also duly elected, but with legal representation and the power to investigate any and all acts of police brutality and undue and unnecessary force and any other complaints against the police department. And